What if I told you police had evidence that could have identified the Long Island killer years earlier? Not just one clue, but multiple pieces of information that slipped through their fingers. This changes everything we thought we knew about this unsolved case. Right now, as this case remains officially unsolved, new analysis of the investigation reveals startling oversights. We're not talking about Monday morning quarterbacking. We're talking about concrete evidence that was documented, collected, and then ignored. The urgency here? Understanding these mistakes could prevent future tragedies. And the most shocking part? Some of this evidence was right in front of investigators from day one. Let's start with the phone evidence. In 2010, investigators recovered multiple cell phones from the victims. Standard procedure, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. Forensic analysis showed these phones had received calls from the same 3 burner phones in the months before the disappearances. These weren't random wrong numbers. The pattern was too specific. Each victim had contact with these same 3 numbers. Police documented this, but here's the critical mistake. They never cross-referenced these numbers with other unsolved cases in the region. We'll get to why that matters in a moment, but first, let me show you something even more shocking. Now, this next piece of evidence is where things get truly disturbing. Police had precise GPS data from victims' vehicles showing they all visited the same 3 locations in the weeks before disappearing. Not just general areas, exact coordinates. A truck stop off the LIE, a specific beach access point, and a 24-hour diner in Oak Beach. But wait, it gets crazier. When mapped together, these locations formed a perfect triangle with the dump sites at the center. This wasn't coincidence. This was a hunting pattern. And here's the kicker. This geographic data was collected in 2011, 2 years before the official investigation even acknowledged a serial killer might be operating. But here's where the investigation failures become almost unbelievable. In December 2010, a truck driver came forward with a specific sighting. He reported seeing a man matching the description of a person seen with one of the victims, driving a specific make and model of vehicle near Gilgo Beach at 3:17 a.m. on November 23rd. He gave detailed descriptions, right down to a distinctive bumper sticker. Police took his statement, filed it, and never followed up. Why? Because they'd already decided the victims were connected to sex work, and therefore their cases were lower priority. This single decision might have cost them the killer. And we're just getting to the most shocking oversight. Now, this next piece of evidence will make your jaw drop. Between 2007 and 2010, someone was searching for very specific terms related to the investigation. Not just Long Island murders, we're talking about exact phrases that hadn't been released to the public. Search terms like GPS jamming techniques and cell tower triangulation limitations were traced to a single IP address in Massapequa. Police had this data by 2012. They knew someone was researching how to evade exactly the kind of investigation they were conducting. But here's the unbelievable part. They never connected this to their person of interest list because they were focused on physical evidence. They were looking for a killer in the real world while he was studying how to disappear in the digital one. But wait, there's one more piece that ties everything together, and this is where the investigation failure becomes catastrophic. In 2009, a completely separate police department in Nassau County had arrested a man for solicitation. Standard stuff, right? Except this man's phone contained numbers that matched 2 of the burner phones from our earlier segment. More importantly, his vehicle description matched the truck driver's sighting exactly. This information was in the system. It was documented. It was searchable. But because the cases were in different jurisdictions, and because the Long Island Task Force was focused on physical evidence from the dump sites, this digital connection was never made. The killer was in the system the whole time. So here's the mind-blowing conclusion. The Long Island killer wasn't some criminal mastermind who outsmarted everyone. He made mistakes. He left evidence. He was even in the system. What failed wasn't the evidence, it was the investigation. The phone patterns, the geographic data, the witness statement, the digital searches, the cross-jurisdictional connection, each piece alone might not have solved the case, but together, they formed a picture so clear it's painful to look at. The killer could have been stopped after victim number 3, maybe even earlier. Instead, the investigation's tunnel vision and jurisdictional barriers created blind spots where evidence disappeared into bureaucracy. So what do you think? Could better coordination between departments have caught this killer years earlier? And more importantly, what other cases might be suffering from these same investigative blind spots right now? If this deep dive into missed evidence shocked you, imagine what other cases we could analyze together. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started uncovering the truths hiding in plain sight.